In this lesson, we'll set up our constraints between our envelope arm and IK FK chains. We'll first constrain to our FK chain and then the IK, then by the next lesson we'll be able to set up the blending between the two modes. So to get started here, I'm just going to select the FK chain and increase its size so that it's going to be easier for us to set up our constraints. So with it selected, we can head over to the listener window and type in as follows: $.width, and we'll have it equal to 1 unit larger than it already is. So right now it's set to 1, the entire chain. So let's go ahead and just set the width to 2. Now before we run this, again with this root selected, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Page Down and grab the entire chain. Now we can go ahead and run this, and notice the width has now been increased. So we can do the same thing with the height. Go into the next line underneath. It's going to be $.height, have that equal to 2. Hit enter. And then from here we can go ahead and copy this, paste it, switch the 2 to a 1. And this is just to prepare to bring this chain back to its original size once we're finished with our constraints. Okay, so I'll close out the script editor. We can head over back to our layer manager, go back to our envelope objects, expand that, get to the left arm, go to wireframe mode and start to set up our constraints. So we're going to want to position constrain our arm to the FK root and the orientation constraint to the same. So go ahead and do that. And then when we get to the elbow and forearm, we just need to worry about orientation constraints. Okay, now that that's done, heading over back to our layer manager, we'll now go ahead and hide our envelope objects. So we can quickly go in, select the FK chain, press Control Page Down, get back to our script editor, and go ahead and run the code to bring that back to its original size. And now we can go ahead and hide that layer. Bring back the IK bones, select its root, Control Page Down, and increase the size. From here we can bring back the envelope objects and finish up setting up our constraints. Again, so with the upper arm, going to want to position constrain that and orientation constrain that to the IK chain. And then for the elbow, again, just an orientation constraint. And the same applies to the forearm. Okay, so once that's done, again, can select the IK arm. Go ahead and press Control Page Down. And go ahead and bring its width and height back to 1. Alright, so from here, closing out the script editor, what we're going to go ahead and do is hide our envelope objects and apply an IK goal to this chain. So selecting the arm, we'll go ahead and choose our high IK solver, connect to the nub, and there we have it. So bringing back our envelope objects and also the FK chain, notice what we're getting right now, the blending back and forth. Great. Okay, so by the next lesson, I'm going to have the right side finished. What we want to do first is go ahead and take this high IK solver, rename it, it's high IK L arm 01, and go ahead and store it in objects to hide. So again, by the next lesson, I'll already have the right side finished. You'll know exactly how to set it up from, again, looking at this lesson. And then we can get right into establishing the blending between IK and FK arm modes.